This show is sponsored by Audible. Fans of It Matters can get a 30-day free trial of Audible. Stay tuned for details. Hello, and welcome to It Matters How We Treat One Another, the social science show. I'm your host, Matthew David Vasco. If you have subscribed to this show on YouTube or your favorite podcasting platform, then thank you. We are grateful for each and every one of our subscribers. We are also thankful for our patrons on Patreon. Your support helps to make this episode possible. My guests this episode are Charle Peck and Dr. Cameron Caswell, PhD. They're here to talk with me about their recent book, Improving School Mental Health, the Thriving School Community Solution, a revolutionary program to optimize student learning outcomes and well-being. I fell in love with their book and their program because of the skills they help people develop, like self-compassion and empathetic listening. I have really been looking forward to this conversation with them. But first, our inspiring news. If inspiring things are happening in your neck of the woods, then please send us a direct message on one of our social media accounts and let us know. You can find us by our show name on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Blue Sky. This episode's inspiring news comes from dailygood.org. The headline reads, "The World Mourns Dr. Jane Goodall," and the article begins, "Jane Goodall's passing at 91 invokes a global chorus of grief, each echo tinged with a commitment to her life's work. As the world mourns, from Singapore's heartfelt tributes to Taiwan's evocative ceremonies, her legacy of compassion and connection with the natural world remains steadfast." I was fortunate enough to get to see Jane Goodall speak not once, but twice. I was so moved by how she said that she did not set out to become a humanitarian, but she learned that if she wanted to help preserve natural spaces and animals, then she needed to help people first, because people would sometimes turn to things like poaching, for example, to help stave off starvation. Two of her famous quotes ring in my ears as I think about her passing. First, she said, quote, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children." End quote. We would all benefit from keeping those words in mind when we consider how to utilize our planet and its resources. Second, she said, quote, "What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." End quote. That is so true, isn't it? We can help make positive change in the world every day by how we choose to interact with others and how we choose to spend our time and our hard-earned dollars. When we are conscientious about how we move through the world, each and every one of us can be a force for positive change. And I will close this segment by saying that Dr. Jane Goodall's life stands as a testament to how much good one person can do. Rest in peace, Jane Goodall. Again, if you know of inspiring things happening in your area, then please DM us on our socials and let us know. Thanks. Up next is our feature segment. But first, this show is sponsored by Audible. You probably already know that Audible is an outstanding source for audiobooks. But did you know that Audible is also an amazing resource for guided wellness? It's true, and fans of our show can get a free month of Audible Premium Plus just by clicking the link in our episode description or by visiting the podcast page at matthewvasco.com. Again, that's a free month of Audible Premium Plus by clicking the link in our episode description or by visiting matthewvasco.com and clicking podcast. And now, our feature segment. My guests today are Charle Peck and Dr. Cameron Caswell, PhD. They are here to talk with me about their recent book, Improving School Mental Health, The Thriving School Community Solution, a revolutionary program to optimize student learning outcomes and well-being. Charle is also the co-author of The Language of Behavior, a framework to elevate student success. She holds an MS in Education and an MS in Social Work, and is a 20-plus year veteran of K through 12 education. Charle is also a keynote speaker and the host of the Thriving Educator podcast. Dr. Cam is known as the Teen Translator and is an adolescent psychologist, parenting coach, TEDx speaker, and the host of the Parenting Teens with Dr. Cam podcast. With over 20 years of experience and with a teen of her own, Dr. Cam combines professional expertise with personal insight to help parents stop yelling, start connecting, and rebuild trust at home. Welcome, Charle and Dr. Cam.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having us.
Such a pleasure to have you both here. This is a book that I've liked for a long time now, since I think it came out roughly a year ago. And I like a lot of the elements, a lot of things that play in here, and I've been wanting to talk to the two of you, so it's great to have you both on the show.
We love talking about our book.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Just the topic in general. We love this topic.
So you are co-authors of the book Improving School Mental Health, The Thriving School Community Solution. Maybe Charle, can you give us a quick overview of the book?
Yes. Okay. It's a framework including 9 essential skills that we use to deliver to educators, school leaders, even staff, and like all staff of schools. But also, it's about the whole community, as you notice in the book, the title of the book. The whole school community has to be a part of it. So we can loop in students and we can loop in especially parents. Dr. Kim will speak to that. The idea came from, how do we improve the youth mental health crisis? And so we started with that question, and we couldn't understand why there were so many issues. And I'm a former educator. I taught high school for 18 years, and I got to teach about mental health. That was my curriculum. And so I've been asking this question for a long time. Why are students struggling so much? I just didn't understand it. So Dr. Cam and I got together and we thought, we need to do something about this. We've got to do something about this. And so as a clinical therapist now, I was able to use both of their lenses. And then Dr. Cam, well, she's an adolescent psychologist. So hello. I mean, look at that expertise coming in. We decided that we need to equip people in the whole community with a common language and easy tools that they can implement today. Once they leave our sessions, like they can use it today. So the book is about the framework, but also the rationale, and it gives some background information. But Dr. Cam, is there anything you want to fill in there that I missed?
Yeah, I think one of the things when Charle and I started this, we were very frustrated because we heard a lot of problems and people talking about the problems over and over again. And we're like, yes, we all agree. There's a lot of problems. I'm not hearing issues. I'm not hearing solutions. We were not hearing any solutions, or the solutions that we were hearing were so complex and so deep dive that none of them were following through or being done. I think a lot of them didn't really take into account the plate full plates that teachers already had. So they were asking a lot of people that already had a lot to do. And so our entire focus is about how do we create a solution that doesn't add to our plate, but it actually is just embedded in it. It's just woven into our everyday interactions. They're not separate things that you do. They are basically fuel and feed how you do things already. And so it's more about relationship and understanding and those type of skills. And the other really important piece of this was it doesn't fall on any one person's shoulders. This is about teaching everyone, as Charlie was saying, teaching everyone underneath the roof of the school and outside and the parents. And our whole goal was if parents and teachers and students are all speaking the same language, then we're going to learn the language. If we're all speaking different languages, nobody's learning the language. And that's really what our focus was, is how do we just make this embedded into the school culture?
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Charlie, you mentioned that it's a framework. What are those 9 essential skills that the thriving school community solution emphasizes?
Well, they're in 3 skill sets. And so the first skill set is the self. It always has to start there. How do we manage our own health and well-being? And really that stress management that we're seeing so much in these high demand roles. How do we manage that? And so once we can have the skills and more importantly, the confidence to do that and the self-awareness and self-regulation, all of those things are looped kind of together into the skill set of the self. We call those
Auto.
auto skills. Yeah. Well, there are 2 other skill sets. So we have ambi skills and allo skills. So the allo skills are kind of the next thing. So once we feel okay about ourselves and how to manage ourselves through stress and overwhelm, then we can step outside of ourselves and then we can make space for other people. So this is where empathetic listening comes in. This is about social plasticity. This is about informed decisiveness is really an auto skill, a self skill. Like how do we make decisions aligned with our values? But when we're thinking of other people, this is about decisiveness for the other person. So we're responding based on their needs and not our own. And so the last set of skills, so there are 3 skills in each set. The last set of skills are the skills that we get to share space together, even when we don't agree. So Dr. Kim, I know you have a lot you can add to these, but really it's a 3 skills in the frame, because 9 feels like a lot, but 3 different skill sets is something entirely possible. But Dr. Kim, what else would you add?
No, I think you covered it really well. We really broke down what is it that trips us up a lot. And I think we started from that place. Like what keeps us from stuck in these loops of conflict with ourselves, with conflict with one another. And then we go, how do we solve this in the simplest, easiest, let's boil it down to the basics, which is extraordinarily difficult to do when it's very complex ideas. How do we boil this down to something? Because our whole goal was how do we make sure that everyone can do this consistently the same way, kids, teachers, parents. What is the core of this? And so that's really where those came from. And it was, like Charlie said, it has to start with ourselves. And I think we often are very focused on the other person and how they impact us. And we have to start with how do we impact our story and what we bring to the table first.
I see. And Charlie, you mentioned empathetic listening. That one really caught my attention when I was reading the book. In terms of both improving school mental health and I would imagine community relationships as well. How is empathetic listening different than other skills someone might already be using, like, say, active listening? Can
I'm
you
so
tell us
glad you
more
said
about
that.
that?
I'm
I
so
know.
glad you brought up active listening. Okay, so active listening is great. I mean, there's evidence to support how effective it is. Here's the problem. When we are overwhelmed, we're stressed, we have a lot to think about. Active listening involves how do we look to other people? What is our positioning? What is our body language saying? What is our tone saying? And so there's so many things to have to do. And so we're trying to clear our minds here and trying to be very simple. Again, what Dr. Cam said earlier, it took so much time taking these complex issues and coming up with solutions that can't be complex. They have to be so simple that everybody can use them. I mean, I use these skills with little kids. I use these skills with seventh graders, with adults. I mean, oh my goodness. So empathetic listening is so good because it's boiled down to this. How are we thinking about the other person's experience coming into this? And really just being quiet and really not thinking too hard about it and just genuinely showing up for them, looking through their lens. And that is how we build connection. So I'm so glad, Matt, that you said not only in the school buildings, but in the community, because we have to use this skill more often. But the way Dr. Cam and I kind of designed it is so that you could do it in such an easy, reflexive way that you don't have to think too much about it.
Mm.
I,
Yeah, I
I would
heard.
say I
Yeah.
love that you brought this one up because I would say of all of these skills, which they're all very, very important, I feel that this one is so core to our relationship. It is so necessary for people to feel heard, and we're not taught to listen. Nobody teach we confuse hearing with listening, and they are two completely different things. Listening is actually understanding, comprehending, listening, understanding what somebody has to say and really getting their point of view. And we often listen, even with active listening, we're so focused, like Charlie said, on our part side of the listening. How are we responding? Are we showing up the right way? Do they feel like they're being listened to? And it replaces the voice in our head that's distracting us of how do I respond with another voice, which is how do I show up? And we still miss what the other person's saying. So
Mm.
that's what this is all about. It's about let's clear all that out, as Charlie said, and focus purely on what is that person experiencing. If I'm looking through their eyes, how am I experiencing the world? And when we do that, the questions come to clarify. The body language automatically falls into place because you are actually interested and your body's going to turn towards them. You're going to lean in. So you don't have to think about that when our focus is thinking about, I need to understand what they're going through.
Right. Sort of perspective taking in a way, right? Sort of
100%.
trying to see through their eyes
Mhm.
what they've been experiencing, what they've been going through. I think that's so valuable in a community setting or a school setting, especially say a teacher trying to see the perspective of a student.
Yep.
You got it. You got it. And
Now,
Matt,
are
let
you?
me say something there because this is
Yeah.
important for kids and truly their lives. I mean, we are saving lives by using this kind of perspective because there is a loneliness epidemic. It's been going on for a long
Mhm.
time. And there are so many students that come to me in session and say, I just wish my teacher would ask me if I'm okay
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
putting their head down on their desk and they're getting in trouble for it. But really, what they need is to be seen and heard. And we don't have to have a lot of skills for that. We just need that one empathetic listening skill. And it's so very simple. Then we don't have to worry about it. But that way, these kids, when we say it's about connection, I mean, we're really talking about those kids who are thinking suicide, who are self harming, who are unseen. And it's that kid that needs this the most. And that's not just kids too, by the way. Those are adults that are showing up in these school systems that don't feel validated, they don't feel heard or seen either, and they're stepping out. We're having a lot of problems with teacher retention and burnout, which we've heard over and over. But empathetic listening is truly the skill that can be so very helpful. And it's I'm working with people all across the country. I mean, in all these districts, and it comes down to that so many times.
People really needing to be heard.
Mhm. And we need
Yeah.
to learn how to do it in such a
Yeah.
way that it doesn't feel overwhelming. That's why it's integrative. It's something that we just integrate into our everyday practice. We don't have to think too much about.
Excellent. Let's say someone wanted to use your book to put the thriving school community to work, community solution to work in their school community. Dr. Cam, how do you suggest they get started?
Get the book, I would say, is the first thing is get the book, and you can reach out to us too. But when we actually put together a study guide to help you through the book
Oh,
with the questions and the process, because every single step you practice and you learn the skill. And each skill, they work together, but We would love you to just get one skill down and really practice it and learn it, because one skill that is mastered is better than a lot of the skills not mastered. So one at a time, do it, apply it, try it until it becomes very natural. Work with everyone else in your school district and do it together, and then build on to the next one. And all of a sudden, all of these are built so that they become automatic. And that's the big piece of this, is it doesn't take a lot of brain power once they're automatic. They become part of your everyday conversation and how you are engaging with your students, how you're engaging with other teachers, how you're engaging with yourself, and how you're engaging at home too, which when your home life and you're feeling good at home, you bring that into the school. So it really merges across the board.
And
Okay,
when
this
Dr.
is
Cam and I,
uh
sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I
I
was just
didn't
getting
mean to
sort
cut.
of a follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
In terms of getting the book, is there a place that a community could get a bulk rate on the book or something like that?
Yeah. You can actually go to thrivingeducator.org/books, and it's listed there not only with the bulk book order listing from our publisher that's Connect Ed, they give you a discount and everything, but also the free book study kit is there too for download. So they can get the kit with it's a whole facilitator guide. It's got the worksheets, reflection questions. It's even got email
Emails.
prompts. Yes, you just copy and paste that. You don't even
Yep.
have to go to ChatGPT for that. It's already there.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's all there. It's a whole guide.
So the study guide is free then.
It is.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And the
Oh, that's
facility. Yep.
excellent.
It's all there for you to go. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like an infomercial, but no, I'm really I'm truly interested. Wow, that's great that
Yeah.
the study guide is available for free. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It goes with our whole philosophy of is we're trying to make everyone's lives easier.
Uh,
And I think that's one of the core problems that we kept seeing with all the solutions is it made everyone's lives more complicated. And that's the last thing we
mm.
need is
Mhm.
more. So ours is about doing less, just doing it smarter.
Well, I love the idea too of getting everyone on the same page,
Hmm.
right? Speaking the same language, using the same skill set. Like all of that seems like, because we're all coming from different places, we all have different life experiences. So, this idea of getting everyone working together using that same sort of structure seems so vitally important in a community setting. Absolutely. So, I think a lot of educators, now looking at this from the educator perspective, I feel I've seen this in school settings where educators feel like it's hard to keep parents engaged because they're so busy and they have so many things pulling at their attention. How does the Thriving School Community Solution help to get and keep parents more engaged?
Go ahead, Dr. Cam.
That is on me. Because I work with parents, and you're absolutely right. There is a huge interest in wanting to be involved and wanting to support, and also a lot of overwhelm with parents in just what do I do? And I think when it comes to schools, there's a lot of, and we've seen there's a lot of finger pointing of who's to blame for this. And I think we even go specifically into this is we don't want to continue blaming. And so I think a lot of parents become a little resentful because they feel like, oh, everyone's blaming us for sending kids into the school that are not having mental health issues, that are having mental health issues. And yet we're trying. We don't know what else to do. So this gives them tools. And this also, again, it is such an easy read. It is something that schools can teach and provide to parents and say, let me help you with some skills that are not just going to help with your kids with school, but it's going to help with your own relationship with your kids. It's going to help with your own relationship with your spouse. It's going to help just ease the stress at home. And parents are looking for that because, again, they're not looking for more to do either. So if
Right.
you say, hey, you got to learn this because you got to do your part, this is more, here's something to relieve some of the stress on your shoulders and make life at home a lot easier for all of you. We would like to help you with that. That is an invitation I think more parents are open for.
Well said. Well said. As a parent, I feel seen.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. We're
Yeah.
parents too. We know the pressure, and believe me, we every single thing we did, we put through many, many different lenses of is the parent going to be able to see this, and are they going to roll their eyes, or are they going to be able to address this? Are teachers going to be able to look at this and actually use this in a real live classroom, or is this too much? Charlie and I spent a lot of time debating and making sure everything passed all of the tests on is this realistic, not just workable.
Hmm.
I mean, I've now my kids are sophomores. I have twins. They're sophomores in high school. So I've been involved in school communities now for quite some years. And, you know, there is definitely something at play in your book. And I think this is what attracted me to it so much, where it doesn't seem hard. It didn't feel hard to me when I read it. I hope that
Good,
sounds like
good.
good news
No,
to you.
That's
that's
what we
exactly
wanted.
what we wanted. It was
Yeah.
a lot of hard work to make it not hard.
Yeah, it really did
I
take
imagine.
a lot. It was a kind of a science.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's also, Matt, going back to the parent piece and the schools, like it's a great way to bring parents into the building. And a lot of school counselors we work with ask us how do we use these skills for parents? Like, what do we do? So, first of all, I always say use it in your staff meetings. Start with the parents that are already in your building teaching for you, or
Mm.
being administrators or school counselors or any staff, support staff, because they're parents too. And then send this out as a presentation. Oftentimes we have these parent presentation nights and we don't know what to do with them. These are perfect for them. And what the school counselor can do is just read the book, or the AP could do that, or even the principal, but could read the book, take one skill, and then just talk about it with the parents. And then that will spread out. So the whole idea is that we take this change and transformation from the inside out. It's too long to wait for that system to change because
Mm.
it probably won't. And we may not be around anymore when it actually does. So we need to change it from the inside out. So just do one thing at a time, use it as a parent presentation. And a lot of districts have a family engagement fund or a parent engagement fund. They have no idea what to do with it. And we always say, do a book study. Check it
Yeah.
out, see how you can implement this. And we've even shown up to the virtual sessions when they have a book study. I've actually gone in person when I was in town speaking and they were actually running a book study. I stopped in and answered questions. So there's lots of ways we can do this in a very it doesn't have to be a lot of work. It's just very simple, but they can utilize it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's so important, I think, to be able to just put it right to work.
Yes.
And now looking at it from the student perspective, I know some students who they don't like going to school because of how they're treated by other students. Can the Thriving School Community Solution help with that?
Absolutely. And there's an advisory class that school social workers or school counselors teach. Some teachers run it. But in those kinds of settings, there are actually classes set up to learn skills.
Hmm.
And this is perfect. I mean, you can introduce it. You could do a 12-week program out of it and have discussion on either side of it, an introduction, and then each week is the 9 skills. I mean, there's just so many ways to utilize it. But really, it's about getting kids talking about it. And they will be pretty honest about it. And if there's a tool, so we always give like kind of a background of the skill. And then we always pair it with a tool that is just so easy for any age group to use and understand.
Mm.
And then they can model it, they can explain it, and then have the kids practice with each other. So it's easy to implement and integrate into everyday practice right in our classrooms. And not to mention, you can do this in just a few minutes as a classroom teacher. So once it's introduced, then you can reinforce it by modeling it yourself in your classroom every day, talking about it, using the language, and having students do projects around it. I mean, there's just so many ways to do this. Dr. Kim, what would you add?
Well, I think the other thing that makes this really cool, and I work a lot one-on-one with teenagers, we both have, but they love to learn about themselves. And so this brings in a lot of brain science and it explains how our brains work. It explains about the cognitive bias that we have and we're not even aware of, and like why our brain does certain things and why we think certain ways. So this isn't about, oh, you've been doing this wrong. It's about this is why you've been doing it because your brain works this way. And here's why it does that because it's being trying to be smart and protect you. And here's once you know about that, here's how you can counter it. So it puts a lot of control back on the kids without a lot of pressure. It's like you actually have control over this because a lot of the kids, particularly when we talk about just the story spiral, right? The stories that we tell and how we start with a story and then that colors how we see what's going on around us and that responds how we react to it. And kids are like, I've never thought of that. And so it just makes them feel so much more empowered. And when they feel good about themselves and they feel empowered, guess what? They're nicer to other people because they don't feel the need to be mean to other people. That changes so much because a lot of kids are acting out for that very reason that you just said, Matt, that they don't feel seen and they don't feel appreciated or heard. When they start feeling that way, they change.
So good to hear. So important. Thank you. And finally, how can the Thriving School Community Solution help prevent teacher burnout? Because I think even you mentioned that earlier, Dr. Cam, about teachers getting burned out these days. How can your solution help with that?
I'm actually going to throw this to Charlie because this is her specialty is teacher burnout. So I'm going to let Charlie take this one.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really about the confidence and the level of confidence when kids act out themselves. So those student behaviors are what is there. When we work with teachers, we work with teachers all the time across every district, every state. I mean, there's just so many people saying the same thing. And actually, globally, like when we do our global events, we have people all over the world showing up. They're all saying the same thing. The student behaviors are stressing me out because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And when they don't know what to do, they either do nothing, avoid,
Mm.
try, like sometimes not even showing up because they're overwhelmed, but also they're trying to do the same things they were doing in the past that weren't working. We take a punitive approach. We know this is ineffective. Administrators are taking the same punitive approach because they don't know what to do. We're doing in-school suspensions, out-of-school suspensions. They don't know what else to do, but that's just not working. It's not solving the problem. And
It's
so
making the problem worse. Let's
it,
just
it
throw
act,
that out there.
that's right. And it is further isolating or ostracizing kids or telling them that, yeah, you are the problem kid and it's not going to get better. So there's a lot going on there. Like when I'm doing, like as a school-based therapist, I'm seeing these kids a lot and they're coming to me like, I'm the bad kid. So I'm just going to keep being the bad kid. There's no way out for me. And so here's what it comes down to. We are equipping adults. We're equipping them with the language, with the skills, the confidence, the know how. What do I do in this situation? Because when we train people in the skills, because we actually do that, we train people to use these skills. We give them those scenarios that are causing that teacher burnout. We've collected years of data, testimonials, and information to say, what is it that's really bothering you? Like, why are you leaving? Why can't you stay? And they're telling us the same things over and over. So we use those in our training sessions. And they're all like, oh gosh, that happens to me all the time. And we're like, we know. And so this is how you can address that. And we build community within each other. Like everybody kind of comes together to support each other that way. It's awesome. We're doing really great things with the skills themselves, but we're equipping them essentially.
In
I will say the
obeying. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say, I was gonna just say when we do teach these and we go into schools and teach these, I think this often the feedback from us is from teachers is we were really dreading this because it seemed like another one, and we actually really love this. When are you coming back? Because they feel so seen and they don't feel like they're being talked to or lectured to or this is what you should be doing. It's a we get you, we know what you're going through. This is why we want to help you. It's a very different feeling.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let me say this. I read the book and I thought there was so much there and it was robust, right? There was a lot there. But now talking to the two of you, in a way, I sort of feel like the book's just the tip of the iceberg.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it almost seems like maybe what people really need to do is contact the two of you and get you involved in the community. I don't know. It sounds like you're having a lot of good experiences actually getting involved with schools and working with them on these skills.
Yeah. Well, one thing that happened, we learned is that there's a lot of leadership a lot leadership teams were interested, and we didn't know how to keep up with that because there's not a lot of us to go around. And so one of the things we decided to do is a cohort training group. And that way we train the leaders. So there's a district we're working with in Columbus, for example, and they handpicked about 15 people who represent the different schools. And there's like rock star teachers involved because they're essential parts of the mental health team that people don't listen to. They need to be listened to. But also school counselors, school social workers, administrators are all there, and district leaders. And we get together and we go through the framework of the 9 essential skills, and we have them do a recorded module on their own. So they learn it, they go and practice it. Then we come together virtually, coach a little bit through it, talk about it, apply it, and then they go back at the end of the month and they then try to master it. And so we're all communicating all the time. And that is one model that's been really working well because, again, that change, that transformation has to come from within the system. And every system has its own culture. It's all very unique. Every school building, every campus, every district has an organization. I mean, this doesn't just stop with schools. I mean, there's so many organizations this spreads to, but it has to start from within. And then the wave of change has to move outward. And the leadership team, the ones who are like those champions of this program, it's really not a program. It's just integrative skills. It's actually pretty simple, but they learn it and then they spread it. And it's really great. It's a great system.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, I think maybe it's time we transition over to the Feel Good Five. And I mentioned to the two of you before we started recording that this is something we've been doing to end our interviews. Started last season, just kind of a fun, feel good kind of thing. I mean, in a way, what you all do is sort of a feel good kind of thing, right? Come in, help communities out, help communities thrive. So let's try the Feel Good Five and see how this goes here. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Sure.
Great. All right. What is your favorite feel-good song?
I'm gonna go with Tiny Dancer, but pretty much anything Elton John.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And I'm saying anything off the New Jersey album by Bon Jovi or Bust a Move by Young MC.
Okay. What is your favorite feel-good movie or TV show?
I'm so old school. I love Sound of Music. That will make me happy every time, and I'm still dreaming of being a Von Trapp child.
Okay. Mine's a little different. Dumb and Dumber. It's a little different.
Real goofball comedy. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it is.
What helps lift you up when you're feeling down?
Me dancing, putting on some music, and just doing some kitchen dancing always makes me happy.
Nice. Mine is just curling up with my family to watch a movie. That's the best thing ever for me.
Excellent. And what gives your life meaning?
Well, I'm going to go with my family because my daughter and my family is 100%.
Yeah,
That is everything.
yeah, absolutely. And adventure, like when I can have adventure with my family, traveling, seeing new places, that lights me up.
And finally, what inspires you?
Helping people and seeing them be able to change, seeing people just have those aha moments and going, oh my gosh, this has just changed. That every time I get that experience, I'm like, I can stay up hours and hours and hours doing this. This is amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, mine is truly appreciating the good things that are happening and not getting stuck in that negativity. It's really appreciating the good things going on.
It seems like, in a way, the work the two of you do could definitely help lift you up and make you feel good because I did a whole episode my first season on what's called the helper's high. This
Mm,
idea that when you're feeling down, one thing that can pick you up and make you feel good is to get out and help others.
yeah.
Right. There's tons of evidence to show that. It's so true.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for being on the show. I really appreciate your time. And I do hope that people will check out your book and will reach out to you if they need help implementing it. And I wish you both massive success with this project.
Thanks
Thank
so much,
you.
Matt. Appreciate
And
it.
I do want to say, Matt, parents that are listening, Dr. Cam has an amazing membership to support parents. Like you've got to go check that out. You have to, Cam, where can they find you for that? Because that is awesome.
AskDrCam.com. Thank you for saying that, Charlie.
Yeah,
AskDrCam.com. Yep. My
Excellent.
Parenting Teens Academy. Thank you.
thanks.
Fantastic. Well, we will load up the show notes with lots of links to reach both of you and more information about your book and everything so that people know where to find you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt.
Excellent. Excellent. Take care. This brings us to the end of this episode of It Matters How We Treat One Another. Thank you to our guests, Charle Peck and Dr. Cameron Caswell. Their book, Improving School Mental Health, The Thriving School Community Solution, is available everywhere books are sold. And I've provided links to their websites and podcasts in the show notes. Please subscribe to keep up with all of our episodes, and you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/itmatterspatrons. That's patreon.com/itmatterspatrons. For less than a venti hot latte from a certain coffee chain each month, you too can be an It Matters patron and help to make our show happen. You can also support us by shopping our Etsy store at etsy.com/shop/itmattersmerch. There are links in the description. If you want to help feed hungry people in Gaza and around the world, then please visit WFP.org and give to the World Food Program. That's WFP.org. They are not sponsors of our show. They're simply a cause we truly believe in because combating hunger is so vitally important. Your quote of the week is, quote, "Healing takes time, and asking for help is a courageous step." That is from actress Mariska Hargitay. And remember, treat everyone with the core four values of kindness, respect, empathy, and compassion, and try for love and acceptance whenever possible. Be well, and much love to you all.